Hi everyone, it's Erin from EB Mix Media. Today I'm going to do something a little different. This is going to be a short video, but I wanted to share with you what I've created in Fodder School. This month's lesson was with Megan Quinlan, and we created decks of cards. The subject matter of your cards could be whatever you'd like. A lot of people did inspirational quotes. I have been focused last year and this year on decluttering my house. And I mean, by decluttering, I mean seriously getting rid of stuff. I've actually been watching a lot about minimalism. I don't think I'm there yet with minimalism, where you get rid of 80 to 90% of everything you own. But I definitely want to do some massive decluttering. I went ahead and created what I'm calling my declutter deck. And these are some of the tips that if you watch YouTube videos and read blogs and look at decluttering experts, these are the kind of some of the go-to tips that when you're decluttering, you can consider. So I thought I'd just share these with you. So this is the first card in the deck. Aren't they cute? And this is called the box trick. And the box trick is basically if you're looking at an object and you don't know, you kind of think you might need it, or it's something you have used in the past and think you might use again, or you're connected to it because it was a relative's or something like that. Put it in a box, and if you forget about it or don't think about it, after 6 months, you set a timer on your calendar, and in 6 months, the decision will probably be made for you, because if you haven't given it a thought, if you forgot what was even in the box when you go to open it 6 months from now, it can probably go. It is probably something you don't need to hold on to. So that's a little trick to help you keep moving as you're processing and not get bogged down in, I don't know what to do with this one particular item. So that's called the box trick. The next one is the honor rule, and I have not heard anyone else talk about this. This was sort of my rule. I definitely think I saw it somewhere, and it might have been with Marie Kondo, but somebody brought up the idea of how are you honoring a memory, or how are you honoring a loved one by keeping this artifact of theirs in a box in your basement or in a box in the back of the closet? How is that honoring their memory or your memory? So I think about that a lot when I'm going through things, especially things that were given to me or sentimental things that I've kept, like say your program from your kids' play in school or something like that. How is it honoring your loved one or your memory by having it stuffed in a box in a closet where you never look at it except when you think you need to declutter? And how can you better honor that person? Is there another way? So one example is my grandmother collected Franklin, I think it was Franklin Mint dishes, and they were themed, and people would hang these in their homes, these pretty painted dishes. And the one that was saved, that my grandmother saved, was nursery rhymes, and it was given to me because I was pregnant when she died. So everybody thought, oh, she can hang these in her nursery. Well, my aesthetic was not to hang plates on the wall of my nursery. So they went in a box, and they were in a box, and they moved to Maine with us in a box. And when we were finally going through them, I was all set to get rid of them, and I opened them up, and here my grandmother had actually written lists of what was in the box and how much each plate was worth, and because they were considered collector's items. So that made it really hard because it was in her handwriting. But they had been in a box for 15 years or more. My kids were now entering high school. They weren't hung anywhere. So what I did was looked through each plate, and there was one plate that was particularly beautiful. And I thought, you know what? This I think I could hang up somewhere in my home and enjoy. And I can honor her commitment to this collection, her desire for someone to have it and love it. But I'm not keeping all of these other plates. So I'll keep the one, I'll hang it somewhere in my home. I can look at it and think of her, and the rest are gone. So that's sort of how I follow this honor rule, is how can I best honor someone? And I'm starting to get to a point, if I can't use an item that a loved one left for me, or I can't see it in my home where it can give me joy and spark that memory, then it needs to go. And there are certain items you're just going to love more than others that are from a loved one or are going to mean more to you. So that's that rule. The 2020 rule is, a lot of times when you're looking at things, you want to save it just in case. And the 2020 rule is, can I replace this item in about 20 minutes, meaning easily, or for around $20 or less? So, I'm trying to think of what we had, we discovered that we had a strawberry cutter. It was, you put the strawberries in and you closed it, right? And it was like, oh, this could be handy. You know, we didn't even know we had it. We found it. And we're like, this could be really handy and everything. And then I thought, are we going to use it? Well, we might use it someday. You know, we might use it. And I kind of messed around with it and it didn't seem very easy to use. And I thought, you know what? This is something I can go over to Walmart and get another one. And I'm sure they don't cost $20. So you know what? We're going to let it go. And if suddenly we have a big party and we decide we need to cut strawberries efficiently, we'll go get one. And that might sound like a waste of money, but the space that it creates in your home is worth it. And I'm telling you, chances are you are never going to replace it. You're going to find you don't need it. And it was just as good that you let it go. The 6-month rule is to ask yourself, have I used this in the last 6 months? And is it likely I will use it in the next 6 months? And so again, some of those you might say, no, I haven't, but I might, blah, blah, blah. Then you can go back to the 2020 rule, or you can go back to the put it in a box rule, right? The box trick. But if you're not using it, you haven't used it, you don't see an opportunity, for example, camping equipment. We've got camping equipment. We have not been camping in years. We are old now with bad backs. I don't see myself going camping unless it's glamping, like in a luxury cabin somewhere. So the camping gear can go, okay? The 2-minute rule. This is more about maintaining your home and keeping it from getting cluttered. And this is, if you can be done in 2 minutes or less, then do it. So I'm the worst when I get undressed at night of just throwing clothes on a chair. If you can hang it up and put it away in 2 minutes, I can make the bed in less than 2 minutes. You know, if I can do it in 2 minutes, then let's just get it done. And then it's done, right? If I get a bill in the mail and I know I can whip out a check really quick and write it and send it off in 2 minutes, it's done. And if it takes 3, you know, I tricked myself and I got it done. So that's that rule. This is another rule about keeping your house clutter-free by not bringing more things into it. So to ask yourself, a lot of us do this with our kids, but do we do it with ourselves? Is this a want or is it a need? Do I really need this item or do I just want it? And I've often found, like at the mall, especially if you're at a mall or an outlet place where there's a lot of shops, if you're just quite not sure about buying something and you say, you know what, let me think about it and I'll come back. And chances are you forget about it. By the time you've gone into all the other stores at the mall and you've gone to the food court and you're ready to go home, you totally forgot that you looked at that red lipstick, right? It's gone. So you didn't really need it. It was a want. And I tend to not go shopping unless I really need something. I don't shop recreationally. So that's that one. This is called the home rule. I thought this was interesting. Does this item have a home in my house? Do I have a place to put it? And if I don't, do I want to create a place for it? Do I want to make a home? Where would that home be? If there is no home for it, if I don't know where I would put it, where I would remember using it, it should go. And the example that I heard on a YouTube video was extra envelopes left over from Christmas cards that had the person's return address on the back of them. And they were nice envelopes, but they were custom sized to the cards that she had purchased. But she's like, oh, it's such a shame to waste these 6 envelopes. But she didn't have a place where they could live. They didn't, they just didn't fit in with where she would remember them when she needed an envelope. And then what were the chances of it being the right size besides? And as she sat there, she thought, you know what, this is not something I want to make a home for and put it somewhere where I have to remember. And I don't have a home for it now anyway. So she let them go. Okay, so that's the home rule. This is a Marie Kondo one. This is famous, and it's, does it give me joy? Does this item give me joy? If the answer is no, it should go. So I'm super practical, and I love wearing tank tops under my clothes, like undershirts, which is really funny because my mom always made me wear undershirts, and I hated it, and I would never want to wear them, but now I do. So I'll get these white tank tops or a black tank top from Gap, and they cost, I don't know, $5 or $6. And I will wear those things into the ground, and they're grungy, and they're, they just get kind of gray, and they might get stains, and who knows. I will wear them and wear them and wear them. But when I pull them out and look at them, they're gray. Why am I keeping something that's so crummy looking when it's a $6 or $7 tank top? It does not give me joy. I mean, I like wearing them because it keeps me warm, but why can't I wear a fresh, nice, stark white one? So if I want things that give me joy in my life, I want to open up my drawer and have joy seeing the clothes that I love and not seeing like a ratty, and same with underwear, like a ratty piece of underwear where the elastic's stretched out or whatever, and you just keep it because it works. it doesn't give me joy. I want things that I love and that give me joy. And so I've started finally replacing those. So I am by no means a decluttering expert, but I thought these are the rules that really spoke to me. And I just thought this little deck of cards would be helpful, you know, to have sitting by me while we're decluttering. And when I really get into a conundrum where I'm not sure what to do about something, I thought maybe one of these rules would kind of help me get through it. So that's that. Again, we made these in Fodder School, not specific to decluttering. Everybody had different topics that they pursued and everybody made them differently. I chose to do florals. I would highly recommend Fodder School if you're interested. You can register for it at any time, Fodder School 1, 2, or 3, and jump right in and start playing. So that's all for me today. I hope you all have a great day and we'll see you again soon. Thanks, everyone. Bye.